Hello and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Turner had always loved mornings, not because he was particularly fond of the sunrise or the chirping of birds, but because mornings meant breakfast, and not just any breakfast. His breakfast had to include muffins. Blueberry, chocolate chip, bran, banana, anything sweet enough to start the day with a little joy. Turner was particularly eager on this particular Saturday. He had promised to meet Lauren and Adrian, two of his closest friends from the Big Brother circuit, at a casual brunch with Megan, his wife. Turner, Megan, Lauren, and Adrian had maintained their close friendship even though the BB24 season had not aired for many years. Turner thought with a grin that their gatherings were a mix of laughter, nostalgia, and more than a little friendly competition, mostly over food or games. The morning sunlight filtered through the kitchen windows as Turner bustled around. He set the table carefully. Plates, cutlery, napkins, and of course, muffins. Except, as he opened the oven, a small frown creased his forehead. The muffin tray was empty. A quick glance at the counter revealed that the box of pre-made muffins he had bought the night before was nowhere to be found. "What the—" Turner said something incoherent. Megan, entering the kitchen with her usual cheerful energy, raised an eyebrow. "What's going on?" Turner turned to her, incredulous. "What, no muffins?" he said, half in shock, half in despair. Megan laughed softly. "Did you forget to get them, or did someone eat them already?" Turner groaned. "Last night I bought them. I even hid them from the cat. This is a tragedy of muffin proportions." The doorbell rang before Megan had time to respond. Turner opened it to reveal Lauren and Adrian, both carrying gifts and wearing bright smiles. "Morning, everyone," Lauren called out. "We brought some juice and coffee." Adrian stepped in behind her, giving Turner a friendly slap on the shoulder. "And muffins, right? That's what I heard. Turner loves muffins." Turner gestured to the empty tray. "Well, apparently muffins are extinct this morning." Pretending to be horrified, Lauren tipped her head. "No muffins? That cannot be right. How do you even survive without muffins?" Megan laughed. "It appears that Turner does not." Turner sank into a chair, dramatically putting his hands over his face. "This is it, the end of civilization. We are here, completely unprepared, and the muffins are gone. The world is ending." Adrian laughed. "Well, we can fix that. We could make some from scratch. How difficult could it be?" Turner peeked from behind his hands. "You want to bake muffins with me?" Lauren chuckled. "Absolutely, but fair warning, we might make a mess. And by we, I mean Adrian." Adrian, mock-offended. "Hey, I can bake very well. Simply put, you have not yet seen my masterpiece muffins." And so the four of them set to work. Turner pulled out the battered, flour-stained recipe book he had been using for years. While Lauren and Adrian gathered the ingredients, Megan preheated the oven. Turner was in charge of measuring, and, much to everyone's amusement, he did so with an intensity reserved for only the most serious of BB competitions. "Check the luster. Sugar? Check. Baking powder? Triple check," Turner muttered. "You never know when you'll need extra baking powder." Lauren shook her head. "3 checks? This isn't a BB challenge, Turner. It's muffins." "Every muffin counts," Turner replied solemnly. Megan smiled, shaking her head. "He's serious, Lauren. Don't underestimate the muffin mastery." Adrian, meanwhile, was attempting to crack eggs, only to have yolks splash onto the counter. "I can't admit I'm a little messy," he acknowledged, "but it's all about the love in the muffins, right?" Turner mumbled. "Love doesn't clean the counter," but a small smile tugged at his lips. After quickly combining the batter, the muffins were baked. The smell of melting butter and sugar filled the kitchen, and Turner was practically vibrating with excitement. "Smells incredible," Lauren said, peering into the oven. "Do you think they'll rise?" Turner gave a sincere nod. "They better. This is serious muffin business." The four of them sat around the kitchen table, drinking coffee and reminiscing about their previous Big Brother experiences as they waited. There was laughter, playful teasing, and the occasional dramatic reenactment of Turner's infamous veto competition. "You remember that time Turner almost threw the veto?" Megan asked, laughing. "Almost?" Turner corrected. "I tossed it, but with flair." Lauren clapped her hands. "With style, yes, I'll never forget that." Adrian grinned. "And who could forget the look on your face when Julie Chen said your name for eviction?" Turner shook his head, laughing. "Horrifying, pure horror. But I survived, and now we have muffins.
Or soon, hopefully. The alarm sounded. Turner jumped up, racing to the oven. He pulled out a tray of perfectly golden muffins, and a cheer went up from everyone. "They actually worked," Adrian exclaimed, grabbing one and taking a huge bite. Lauren followed suit, savoring hers. "This is amazing! Turner, you truly are the Muffin King." Megan smiled, reaching for a muffin herself. "Well, I'd say it was a team effort, but Turner definitely organized it like a true pro." Turner took a bite of his muffin, closing his eyes in bliss. Finally, equilibrium restored. All is right in the world. As they ate, the conversation turned to their lives post-Big Brother. Turner and Megan talked about their latest adventures, while Lauren and Adrian shared funny stories from recent trips and projects. Despite the years, the bond between them remained as strong as ever. Lauren laughed, pointing to Turner. "You know, you take muffin making as seriously as some people take competitions." Turner grinned. "Because muffin competitions exist. You must rise to the occasion, measure precisely, and never underestimate the power of a good crumb." Adrian groaned dramatically. "Did Turner just give us a motivational speech about muffins?" Megan leaned over and whispered. "Yes, we did, and it was surprisingly inspiring." They spent the morning eating, laughing, and reminiscing. The empty muffin tray was no longer a tragedy. It was a symbol of friendship, shared memories, and the joy of simply being together. As the last crumbs disappeared, Turner leaned back in his chair, sighing contentedly. "You know, maybe the fact that the muffins were missing at first wasn't so bad, because it gave us this morning, all four of us together." Lauren smiled warmly. "I think you're right. Even without muffins, it's perfect." Turner shook his head, though, a mischievous glint in his eye. "Let's not get carried away. Muffins must be present the next time. This was a close call." Adrian laughed. "Agreed, but I have to admit, I kind of enjoyed the chaos. There's something thrilling about improvising muffins with friends." Megan reached across the table, squeezing Turner's hand. "It's always about the people, Turner. The muffins are merely a bonus." Turner looked around at his friends, smiling, and nodded. "You know what? You're all right. But next time, double the muffins." They all laughed, knowing that no matter what, they had each other. And in the end, that mattered far more than any blueberry, chocolate chip, or banana muffin ever could. The morning sun continued to shine through the kitchen windows, casting warm light over Turner, Megan, Lauren, and Adrian. They were four friends, sharing laughter, stories, and yes, muffins, finally. They found a small piece of happiness in that simple joy that would last long after the crumbs were gone. And as Turner reached for another muffin, he whispered to himself with a grin. "What? No muffins?"
It was an unusually
Never
quiet
again.
morning in the Big Brother house. The sun streamed through the living room windows, casting a golden hue over the pristine floors. Turner, fresh off a triumphant week in the game, strode into the kitchen with his usual swagger. Behind him followed Megan, his ever-supportive wife, her hair pulled into a perfect ponytail, and then Lauren and Adrian, both clutching mugs of steaming coffee. "Morning, everyone," Turner called, his voice echoing slightly off the walls. He glanced toward the counter, expecting to see the usual array of pastries laid out for the housemates. He then stopped moving. The counter was empty. Not a single muffin, scone, or bagel in sight. "What? Where are the muffins?" Turner asked, his tone a mixture of disbelief and mild panic. Megan laughed, setting her coffee down. "I think they're gone," she said, furrowing her brow. "Maybe the guests from the previous week ate them all?" With her eyes scanning every nook and cranny, Lauren peered over the counter. "Nope, no muffins, nothing. Nada." She made a dramatic sigh. "I can't start my day like this. Without muffins, of course." Adrian squinted suspiciously and tilted his head. "Are we sure someone didn't hide them?" he inquired. "I mean, it's Big Brother. It's all possible." Turner raised both of his hands in the air. "Papal, we've got bigger problems here. Muffins don't just disappear. This is a crisis." As they debated the muffin situation, an unusual sound came from the living room, a soft, rhythmic tapping, almost like someone typing. Curious, Turner and the others tiptoed toward the source. To their astonishment, they found Derry sitting cross-legged on the couch, eyes closed, completely in a meditative trance.
Beside him sat a small plate holding a single blueberry muffin. "Without dari coma," Derry mumbled softly, his voice barely audible. Turner looked up. "What did he just say?" Megan came closer and whispered. Derry's eyes fluttered open. "Without dari coma," he repeated, reaching for the muffin with a hand that trembled slightly. He didn't seem to notice anything else going on around him. Lauren leaned in front of Adrian. "Do you think that's some kind of code?" she asked. "Code or not," Turner muttered, "that muffin is mine." He made a move toward the couch, but Derry clutched it protectively, mumbling the strange phrase again. "Okay, everyone just calm down," Megan said, trying to mediate. "Maybe it's a house ritual of some kind, or Derry's new Big Brother strategy." Adrian shook his head. "A strategy to hoard muffins?" "Apparently," Turner shot back, glaring at Derry, who was now balancing the muffin carefully on his knee as if it were the crown jewels. Tension filled the room. The housemates rarely got into arguments about food, especially baked goods, but the lack of muffins had made a profound, inexplicable impression. Turner finally sighed. "Fine, allow him to have it. But Derry, you're going to tell us what without dari coma means." Derry blinked slowly. "It's a meditation mantra," he explained. "I chant it to connect with the muffin spirit." The group stared at him. Turner's mouth hung open. "The muffin? The spirit?" "Yes," Derry said earnestly, nibbling a corner of the muffin. "Without dari coma. It brings clarity, balance, and peace to those who understand Muffin's true essence." Megan exhaled. "Well, that's something." Lauren tried not to laugh as she shook her head. "I can't believe we're having a spiritual muffin crisis at 9 in the morning. Adrian, however, seemed intrigued. "You know, I think he's on to something. Maybe the muffins aren't just snacks. Maybe they're symbolic." Turner groaned. "Symbolic or not, we need more muffins. This is unacceptable. Big Brother does not run on empty stomachs." Determined to resolve the situation, Turner marched to the pantry, only to find it shockingly bare. "No muffins! No backup muffins! Nothing!" he cried out. "Who is in charge of furnishing this house?" Lauren, ever the problem solver, clapped her hands. "Then we can bake some. That way we get fresh muffins, and maybe we can decode this without dari coma thing while we're at it." Megan nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, let's make it a muffin meditation session. We'll chant along with Derry and see what happens." Adrian shook his head in disbelief. "I don't know if I'm ready to meditate with muffins, but I guess desperate times call for desperate measures." They gathered flour, sugar, eggs, butter, and a variety of toppings in one place. Despite his usual bravado, Turner acknowledged that he was terrible at baking. "I've never understood how you get the muffins to rise properly," he muttered, dusting flour onto his shirt. Lauren, being the more experienced baker, took charge. "Okay, first we mix the dry ingredients," she began, demonstrating for the group. Megan and Adrian followed along, while Turner reluctantly measured out flour, muttering about the injustice of muffin scarcity. As they stirred, Derry sat cross-legged nearby, murmuring his mantra softly. "Without dari coma, without dari coma." After an hour of careful preparation and a few flour-covered mishaps, the muffins were finally ready. The scent filled the house, warm and comforting. Turner carefully picked one up, inhaling the aroma. "Finally, some peace in the Big Brother house," he said, taking a triumphant bite. Megan and Lauren joined him, savoring the fruits of their labor. Even Adrian, who was skeptical, acknowledged it with a grateful nod. Derry held his muffin with a serene smile, as though it were a holy relic. "See?" he spoke gently. "The mantra works. Muffins bring unity, clarity, and joy." Crumbs from Turner's laughter fell onto his shirt. "I still don't understand the whole mantra thing, but I get it. Everything tastes better with muffins." Lauren raised her muffin in a toast. "To muffins, meditation, and surviving Big Brother mornings." Megan joined in, and to Turner, who finally learned how to measure flour without making a snowstorm in the kitchen. Adrian chuckled, and to Derry, the muffin guru we never knew we needed. Even Derry couldn't help but grin. "With a woot dari coma," he repeated, now with a note of triumph in his voice. "It's not just a phrase, it's a lifestyle." The rest of the morning passed peacefully, filled with laughter, conversation, and, of course, muffins. Turner realized that sometimes the smallest crises, like missing muffins, could bring the housemates closer together. And as the sun climbed higher in the sky, everyone agreed this was one morning they would never forget. Because in the Big Brother house, even something as simple as a muffin could become legendary.